And here we are. How are you?
That just puts a smile on my face. I can't stop. I just get excited. I'm ready to go. Ready to go.
Yeah, we need to create like a soundtrack. But it's going to be 10 songs of just that particular song.
So terrible.
It's so bad. Okay, so honest question for you. What was more surprising to you? The stock market today going from like 1,000 down to positive, or the Chiefs game last night, Chiefs victory?
Well, the whole weekend of football was pretty surprising. I will say last night had to be, certainly in recent memory, one of the best, most amazing quarterback duel I've seen in a long, long time. Neither quarterback deserved to lose that game.
Yeah.
I saw Josh Allen make throws last night that my jaw literally dropped. I couldn't believe the way he throws the ball. His zip on his passes is just insane. The 70-yard, 5-yard pass when the Chiefs were up 10, and I'm thinking, all right, they're going to run away with it.
It's on a rope.
Josh Allen throws a dart like 60 yards in the air.
Yeah.
For a touchdown. And then, it's a game again. And then the back and forth with the last 2 minutes. Even Julie, who is normally pretty agnostic when it comes to the NFL, was loving it. Like, oh my gosh, this is amazing.
Yeah.
She's like, are you for the Chiefs? I'm like, I just love watching this great game. Whoever wins, it's amazing. And you as a Chiefs fan, you thought, and I got a text from you, the Chiefs don't deserve to win this.
That was at the 13-second mark when the Bills scored again. It's like, if you can't stop a guy from scoring 4 touchdowns on you and break his, those single season or the playoff record, 200+ yards, you don't deserve to win. And I am beside myself still that the Bills even gave the Chiefs a chance to make 2 plays. Josh Allen celebrated twice on the sidelines with his teammate. You watched him like 2 different times. He celebrated like he had won the game. And here he is sitting there at home today, not playing next week. I don't know what to say. My good buddy of mine I was talking to him earlier. He's like, I was telling my kid last night that this is a game you'll be talking about when you're my age 30 years from now.
Yeah, it was pretty special. And with no fandom on either side other than wanting to see great football. It delivered.
It delivered.
But what a crazy, all last second field goals and, very tight games.
Yeah.
The fact that we have a 6 seed, 2 4 seeds, and the Chiefs being the last remaining higher seed at a 2 seed. Wow. The 49ers have lost 7 games this year.
Yeah.
It's not like they were just an amazing football team all year. And you go, I could totally see them in the NFC title game. And now, like, what? They beat the Cowboys at home, the Packers at home, and it's all because of one dude, Deebo Samuel.
Yeah, he's a stud.
He's it. Without him, they lose. They don't even beat the Cowboys. And who knows, Cowboys would have probably laid another egg. But point being, they are riding that train. I hear he's banged up, so we'll see how that looks next week.
I tell you what, though, the Rams look really good. Like, they were a little underseeded. Their offense is clicking. That defense is defensive line is just dumb how good it is.
But the Niners beat them 3 weeks ago after spotting them 17 points in the first half. And the Niners beat them twice this year. So who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? I'm extremely excited, obviously. I love the matchup with the Bengals and Chiefs because I like the Bengals. Actually, I'm a big Bengals fan now because just seeing what they're doing this year has got me really excited about just like the small towns again. I'm a Kansas City guy, obviously, but like I just love seeing curses broken.
Yeah.
Pretty neat.
And Burrow has done wonders for his card values, right?
Oh man. Yeah. If you're sitting on raw Burrow cards right now, get them on eBay. Sell them this week. 3-day, 5-day auctions.
Yeah. But Burrow Mahomes, that'll be a great I'm not, you know, Stafford's obviously, this is why he came to LA, right?
Yep.
To have this opportunity to get deep into the playoffs, which was never going to happen with the Lions.
Yeah.
He's always been for real. But he never had an opportunity.
Yeah.
It wasn't like he was a bad quarterback, which goes to show you have to have a great quarterback. And there are very few quarterbacks that can overcome a crappy supporting cast, right? Rodgers is one of those that can do that. But even Brady, he has Mike Evans and Rob Gronkowski, and, you know, it's not like he was doing it completely by himself. Mahomes, great quarterback. But you look at Stafford, Cooper Kupp, obviously amazing, great defense. I mean, you need more. It's more than just the quarterback, although the quarterback is the most important part, if that makes any sense.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you think this particular playoff losses this weekend by Brady and Rodgers, what do you think it does to their cards? Brady, it's untouchable, obviously.
Right. Nothing.
What does it do to Rodgers' cards? They were up riding a pretty good high the last 2 months.
Yeah. Maybe down a little. I think what'll be a more important thing to Rodgers' card values is where does he go next year? If he goes to Minnesota, that's not going to help his card values. If he goes to a more high-profile team, it could help.
Yep.
So if he stays in Green Bay, it'll be neutral, I think. Like, okay.
Yep.
He's still in Green Bay. If he goes somewhere excited, I'm trying to think of a team that he could go to that needs a quarterback that would really, let's say Brady leaves and Rodgers comes in. What if Brady retires and Rodgers takes over in Tampa? How crazy would that be?
That would be insane. I mean, somewhere like a Denver would be very interesting for like a Rodgers.
Yeah.
Flip over to the AFC. I mean, think about that division for a second with Herbert, with Mahomes, and with Rodgers. That'd be something to watch.
What about Tennessee?
Yeah. Tannehill day's done. Give him the number 1 running back in the NFL.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. The NFL has been fun. This, other than the, you know, still sulking a little bit about the Cowboys, but it's pretty entertaining. You have to admit.
NFL's king right now of sports, no doubt.
Pretty cool.
Well, we got some great feedback from the video we did last week on the Marks PSA incident, and obviously news has come out since then that we're going to talk about today. PSA came out with a response to that, which you and I are going to talk through, and then we're going to break down some comments that we got. But overall, I mean, what do you think about the response we got? It's the most watched video that we've had ever in the first week of our channel history, 500 plus videos. Did you expect that?
No. You know, we got, I think, some new blood watching our stuff, which is great. Thank you guys for doing that. The old guard is always still there, and we appreciate them just as much. Great response. The comments we read every one of them. Like, people think, oh, they don't read the comments, or we don't necessarily get to respond to every one of them, but Ty and I read every comment. So just know that. And we like that. It was amazing.
It was.
Loved it.
Yeah, I did too. And we did pick up a couple very blatant themes in that particular video. But let's update folks. For those that don't know, obviously you can watch the video for the details on the Marks incident and how everything went down. But since then, Marks has filed for bankruptcy. That happened, last Friday? Is that about right? Yeah.
Sounds right.
And then, so they filed for bankruptcy. We recorded right after Ryan from Card Collector recorded his response. And then over the weekend, PSA released a response to this. And we'll go ahead and show that real quick. And I'll let you kind of summarize, Mike, what exactly they said, and we can talk through it. But there's the official statement from PSA.
This is an unfortunate incident, and our top priority is protecting the collectors who may have been impacted by the bankruptcy. So they're saying right there, yep, they're running for the hills. They being Mark's Cards. They're trying to get information to help get cards back to these collectors. As you read into this, it looks like it's raw card. Like they haven't graded them yet. All these, $1 million worth of grading fees still haven't been graded. And so they're being very gracious here and only charging shipping back to these customers to get them their raw cards back. How nice of them. It's so great. They're going to have new requirements on group submitters, which, we'll see. They ask for patience as they sort through this expensive and labor-intensive process. And we talked about that on the last video. They're going to have to allocate some resources to fixing this. And as much as we think, it's not going to be like they're pulling graders off of the grading line to deal with this. It's going to be their legal department and, management and other people like that. They're going to have to deal with this. But that means they can't focus those resources on continuing to plow through the backlog and deal with new cards and new ideas that they want to implement, etc.
Yeah. I cannot believe how big of a swing and miss this is from PSA. I really can't. Let's just show that one more time. I mean, you see your point there is we're not going to be charging customers for the return of their cards other than shipping. And we believe that's raw cards because they say, as of yet, we have not received payment from Mark's Cards to grade the cards in our possession. So, deducing very easily that they haven't graded the cards and they're shipping them back to them by charging the people the shipping. It's like, well, then what have you done? You've literally done nothing outside of return the cards after a year back to the people, and you're charging them to do that. If you're going to go through that much trouble to do this, ask them if they want to get them graded and expedite them through the process.
Yep. Oh, and they're still out the money that they paid to Mark's Cards to grade them. Right. It's not like, oh, we're going to return the cards and the money. No, it's gone. Well, they can go after Mark's Cards, but good luck with that, getting in the long line at the bankruptcy proceeding, right?
Well, they don't, at this point, they don't need any money because they're sending all the cards back and not grading them. They wouldn't have charged them for anything.
Right.
Yeah.
But the end client, the collector who sent the cards in, has already expended the money.
Yeah.
To Ryan or Mark's
Exactly.
Cards directly, right?
Exactly.
So congratulations. We'll give you your cards back, but if you want to regrade them, you're right. They could have totally said, hey, look, we have them here. We might as well grade them. Do you want to pay for that? Yes, no, or maybe. Even give them maybe a break. Find some way to say, look, you were wronged. We want to be the good guys here. We'll charge you X dollar, some reasonable amount to grade them. Some people would say yes. Some people would probably say no. But at least PSA doesn't look like they're just sorry. That's basically what it feels like.
Yeah, it feels like, hey, you got yourself into that situation. We'll kind of give you a way out, but with really no reason for you to be happy with PSA.
Right.
I mean, surely there's more to it, but based on what we're reading here, this was a massive swing and miss.
What do you think companies like SGC or CSG or Beckett grading, how do you think they're feeling as they wake up and read, all this has happened? Does that make them feel better about their business? Do they?
Well, for me, I think there's two sides of the coin. It's one oh crap, this is a black eye on the grading market and the hobby in general. But on the other side, it's, man, PSA is kind of in the middle of a bunch of bad news, bad press right now. Surely that means, especially when you do something like this, if I'm one of those guys and they're shipping cards back to me after a year and they're charging me for shipping, I'm never going to PSA ever again in my life.
What would be interesting? What if, and we haven't talked to Peter at SU, so I'm not saying I know anything other than if Peter's watching this, what if they reached out and said, hey, all you guys that got screwed by that, we're going to grade your cards for free. What an amazing marketing idea, right? To
That's
say,
genius.
Like, hey, why don't you try us out? We're going to, because we want to do this for you because it's not cool what happened. And that's not how we roll. I don't know how they'd prove it. Like, there's a lot of nuance there. I'm just saying, wouldn't that be a great, like, marketing idea for SGC to gain some new followers? And how good would they look in that deal?
I think it'd be genius. I mean, there's probably going to be a certain type of invoice that'll be slipped into the PSA packages that they could use to validate or do something like that. But yeah, I mean, you would think this creates an opportunity for, you know, SGC is the one that comes to mind, but maybe there's an opportunity for BGS to actually come out from the grave and do something, or CGC or a hybrid, somebody like that should at least take a shot at this, right? Why would you not?
I mean, I guess it is technically $1 million worth of grading fees that you'd be missing out on. But the reality is not everybody would take them up on it. The cost would probably be relatively minimal versus the potential gain of goodwill within the community, within the hobby. I don't know. If you're listening, Peter.
Well, or if you're one of the people that is getting cards back, put comments below and tell us what they're saying. Like, what is the actual message back to you? Because I read that and I think something has to be missing. We have to be missing something here. It cannot be like that.
Right.
So we'll love to know your feedback. So that's kind of where we're at with that situation. You want to talk through some of the themes we saw in our comments, which I think are very applicable here?
Yeah, I think the first one that really jumped out at me as we were reading comments and watching other videos about this.
Yeah.
Whether it was, you know, Retro Hoop did, you know, lots of people did one. And I think we might have been a little eager to pat Ryan on the back and say kudos, when the reality is he probably did the only thing he could do given the situation. He put himself in a pickle, no doubt, by not disclosing that he was sending them to another person when he was representing that he was grading the cards himself, like sending them off himself, receiving them back himself. I actually understand. It makes sense to me, the business reason why he would do that. That's a lot of work that he now doesn't, he essentially subbed that out. But if you don't let your customer know that you're subbing that out, that's an issue. So I think Ryan was backed into a corner, and it may have sounded like we were giving him a free pass in this and just heaping praise on him. And thinking over it over the last few days, I think, Ryan does have some, he did what he had to do because he did have some responsibility there to those customers, and he needs to disclose those types of things going forward. And I think he will. You know, he wasn't trying to pull one over on people. I don't think this was an intentional misleading of people. He was just trying to be more efficient in his business, and it bit him in the butt. Mm-hmm. What do you think?
No, I totally agree. And some of the comments that I made back to people were just that, like that. There were very good points about that. And I try to put myself in their shoes thinking, okay, if I go trust somebody with my cards, some of these were probably very high dollar cards. You know, we can't assume they're all base cards. There are probably some really good cards in there if you're group subbing them. And if I would have found out like he took them and sent them to another third party where there's additional risk involved, I probably would have been just as pissed. So I totally get that perspective. And frankly, the more I thought about it, I thought, you know what, they're right. That you cannot give Ryan a pass for that. Did he make it right? Yes. But you're right. He had to do that, or trust would have been just flushed down the toilet almost overnight.
Yeah.
So very good points there.
There
was another one brought up around why group subbing, period. You know, that was a very constant theme. Like, and some people were just coming at it from the perspective of, I don't understand this market. Can you help me understand? Like, why would you group sub? And then others who'd been in it, like, were basically saying, hey, I've group sub before. To save the $2 or $3 that you save, it's not worth the risk. How do you answer that question when someone asks you, why would you group sub?
Well, I think there could be even some more factors at play as to why to group sub. If you think how many new people we attracted to the hobby over the last couple of years, and people are going grading, I don't even know where to start. Oh, just send literally it's sending to a group submitter is I send the cards in. That's it. I don't have to fill out the form. I don't have to identify the card on the thing. I don't have to ship them properly and make sure they get there right. All of those things that if you've graded forever, you go, well, that's easy. I do it all the time. Yeah, that's you. That's not necessary. Before a group submitter is an easy way. Oh, and I get to save a couple of bucks per card. Great. I don't have to do anything other than mail my cards to said group submitter, and I get them back in however long.
Yeah.
So it's more than just saving the couple of bucks. What I think PSA could do, or anyone for that matter, I do kind of think, what's the point of groups? If you just make the price for everyone the same, then there's no incentive, financial incentive. There might be a convenience incentive, but not a financial incentive to use group submitters at all. And then that just solves that problem. Then you're dealing one-on-one. And if you have somebody that reneges on their order, you're dealing with one person and not, it doesn't hold everyone else's cards in that group submission hostage because something goofs up.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, from the perspective of PSA, and they've come out and said this before, group subs are important to them because it helps them run a more efficient business, right? They have one ticket essentially that they deal with, as opposed to the hundreds that potentially are embedded in there, and they put that on somebody that they don't employ, which I understand. That makes perfect business sense. But from a individual's perspective, there is more risk. There's a ton more risk because there's a middleman in there, and potentially more than one middleman, more than different eyes that you don't know, you haven't met, that are touching your card, switching your card, which has happened many times, doing things that you just don't have control over just to save a few extra bucks and a few extra minutes to learn a process. So I've never, ever been a fan of group subs for that reason alone. To me, I don't see the upside to it. And a lot of times if you investigate more into some group subs, there's a lot of shady business kind of taking place. And I don't want to classify everyone in that world because that's not true.
I just want to say definitely. I've done both. I've submitted cards myself.
Yeah.
I've submitted through group submitters. Submitters that I've used, I've been very blessed that I've gotten guys that I trust, that I literally talk to every day, and have great reputations with group submitting. So I haven't had anything close to a bad experience. I've done deals where I have literally, and this has been a while, so can you do this today? I don't know, but I used to email PSA and call them and say, hey, I've got all these cards I want to send. Will you, what kind of deal will you give me? Or I have all of the, I'm serious. And they would go, yeah, we'll do this, this, and this. And I was able to basically even get lower than a group sub rate by dealing directly with them in a bulk type situation and talking to them one-on-one.
Yeah.
I don't think you can get, that was again, years ago, the landscape has changed dramatically. So I don't think it's that simple anymore, but point being, I've done it myself. I've done it through group submitters. I actually like the convenience of using a group submitter, if I'm being honest. So I get what you're saying, Ty. It's not a hard process if you learn it. I agree, but my time, I value my time. It's like I can mow my own yard or I can pay someone else to do it.
Yep.
I haven't mowed my yard in a decade, maybe longer.
Yeah.
Because I'm willing to pay someone else to do it.
Right. We come at it from different perspectives. For sure.
And that's okay. Yeah. Like I don't think there's right or wrong here. What do you prefer? Do you understand the risk you're taking by doing so? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. The key takeaway in all this is PSA learned a very hard lesson. And I think they will get even more scrutiny around the process they put in selecting and qualifying and vetting out group subs going forward. And I think that probably echoes into SGC and BGS and everybody else too, when they're qualifying their subs. So I think it's going to be much harder if you were looking to start a group sub business to do it now.
Yeah.
You better have your ducks
sure.
in a row.
As it should.
Yeah.
Like, it shouldn't be just group submission contracts are given to every Tom, Dick, and Harry out there. What do you think about the theme, Ty, of, you know, PSA did this to themselves. They created the situation where this was likely to happen by allowing a backlog, by, you know, whatever.
I would disagree with that. I think they kind of woke up to it one March, April morning. We're like, holy crap. We just had a week straight of, you know, X millions of cards come in. And I think you said it to me offline, like, the people sent their cards in. PSA didn't send their own cards in.
So yeah, no, if we're going to blame, it's hard to look. Could PSA have done things? How could they know that millions of cards were going to flood them in February and March of 2020? Or was it 2021? 2021, sorry. How would they, you know, how could you even possibly anticipate that to the level that it became? They went, oh crap, we can't, this is not sustainable at all in any way, shape, or form. We're at significant risk here. They shut the valve off. They try, you know, again, they're trying to fix it. I'm not giving them a pass on this at all. It's just, we did it to them. We, the hobby, we, the community, submitting all these cards to get graded. It's like, do you blame the toilet when you stuffed all the toilet paper down it and it got clogged? Whose fault is it? The guy who stuffed all the toilet paper in there, or is it the pipes problem?
Let's be honest. When you clog the toilet, it's not because of toilet paper.
Touche. But the clog happened because we created the clog. We just throw so many cards at PSA that you just can't. What can they do?
Yeah. Well, here's what they can do. They cannot make promises they can't keep. And the second they make a promise they can't keep, the message should have been, hey guys, anyone that's taken longer than 6 months that we initially promised when you submitted, we're going to give you percentage discount on your order, because that's the way we should have been treating you. We promised something and we didn't deliver. Like, that to me is probably the bigger issue. Yeah, they didn't cause the problem, but there was a problem and they should have responded to it, and they did not. They just responded by saying, no more submissions. We're going to take our sweet time to get these done. And people are sitting on 13, 14 months now, and they're still being charged full price, and they're still being upcharged. You've got to be kidding me. Like, and that was another theme about the upcharging with PSA and why did they do it? And a lot of people didn't even know PSA upcharged. And the reason why is because it's just another revenue stream for them. I mean, it's another indefensible revenue stream. You can't defend it. They can determine market value however really they want. It's a very ambiguous term they use. Market value can be determined essentially any way they want. And they just throw you on with the charge and say, hey, you want this card back? We're upcharging you. It's yours. Like, that should have been thrown away with anyone's submissions that taken longer than 6 months. Like, the fact that they do that on top is just, it's like a kick while you're down. Kills me.
I think that's a great point. And the fact that their response has been no response, business as usual, status quo in dealing with this, other than, hey guys, we're going to shut it down and try to get through this when we'll get to it when we get to it. I think, again, a huge mistake they've made is opening up for new cards to come in at a higher price level than any of the cards that are there now. Right.
Yeah.
And before they've dealt with what they have on the books already, to me, that's pretty egregious in terms of a kick in the, you know, yeah, sorry, your cards are still here, but we're going to charge these other people $50, $100, whatever. And we're going to take those in because they're a higher profit margin for us. We have to do that. And it's like, wait a second, what?
Yeah.
You add all these up together and you go, why would anybody use PSA or really grading? Like, this isn't, PSA has lots of their own problems, less at other places, but great. You might just go, grading sucks. And there's a lot of people, we got that theme too, by the way, in the comments that grading's stupid. You're an idiot for grading your cards. It's your fault. You know, shame on you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not, and we can wrap this particular topic up, but I I think it's just a shame that, I mean, really any decent business mind would have realized, I feel like you should have realized that there was an opportunity to go above and beyond and kind of save the clientele. And they just, at every turn, they've missed the opportunity.
No doubt.
Like, I can't point to any one thing and say PSA actually exceeded my expectations there. I did not expect that. Like, not once in a year and a half. How is that possible to do that?
Because they don't care. Because they don't care. They know we're stupid and we're going to keep sending our cards in. They know we're suckers.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to keep sending all my cards there. There's lots of good options.
No doubt.
No doubt. All right. Let me show you real quick. Are you done with that? Are you cool if we move on?
Moving on.
All right. Top 10 sales real quick. I just grabbed this morning. We'll pop through here. You can see a lot of football. I'm going to guess a lot of these are Nolan Elite Coast cards. All these Tom Brady's. And that's probably your Alpha Power 9 Black Lotus card that you sold.
How did you know? Does it have my name now?
I'm seeing one basketball, one soccer. Wow. Anything stick out there to you? I mean,
there's a comic book on there. That's kind of cool.
It is cool.
Messi. Wow. Joe Burrow. Here we go. Wait till next week. We'll have a bunch of Joe Burrows on there.
I tell you what. Yeah. Joe Burrow wins next week. Holy crap.
Probably won't see a ton of Brady stuff on there. I think Brady stuff's not going to fall very much, but there's 2 Burrows on there now. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. What do you take here? What's the card you take?
There's only one baseball card and it's vintage. That's like, it's super vintage. It's like a super rare. That's a very rare Joe Jackson card.
1910.
Joe Jackson.
Is that the card you would take on this list?
No doubt. And 100%. 100%. I would love that card. Oh my gosh. What about you? What would you take?
I mean, the 2000 SP Authentic Brady PSA 10 that's a pretty impressive card. I think I might go that direction.
What did it sell for? Almost 100 grand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a pretty low pop. It's a number 1250. That's one of those, like, you could see that being a couple $100,000 5 years from now.
It's good money.
Yeah. But that Joe Jackson's pretty sweet. 1910. Man.
A few years ago. A few years before Tom Brady.
12 years ago.
Tom Brady was in his second year in 1910 playing quarterback.
Exactly. He was just getting out from under Drew Bledsoe.
That's right.
Oh my goodness. What else is going on, man? What do you got going this week?
I actually gonna do, the Hall of Fame announcement is tomorrow. Baseball Hall of Fame. It'll be interesting. I'm betting $100 on if I'm on the Hall of Fame. I would say nobody gets in.
Yeah.
Tomorrow. Ortiz is the most likely person to get in. And, I've been thinking a lot about Ortiz and having discussions with guys. If Ortiz gets in, I think it opens a path for a lot of the steroid suspected people, because Ortiz failed a test in 2003.
Yeah.
He didn't get suspended or anything because it was during the time they were trying to
revive the sport.
Yeah, and figure out how bad is this problem, So they did a lot of secret testing, and it leaked that Ortiz failed a test in 2003. No details other than that. Literally, like, Ortiz denied it was, performance enhancing drugs, whatever. But he failed a test. Like, you can call it what you will. And if they let him in with a documented failed test. By the way, Bonds never failed a drug test.
Right.
Clemens never failed a drug test. Palmeiro didn't.
Yep.
McGuire didn't. So Ortiz did. A-Rod did. Manny Ramirez did. Like, there are guys that did and guys that we have every reason to believe that they did. So it'll be interesting to see if Ortiz gets in. I think he just misses. I think there's going to be no one elected by the writers, which will be the second year in a row that no players were elected by the writers, which boggles my mind.
Yep.
The great thing is that all those guys, Bonds, Clemens, McGuire, Palmeiro, Juan Gonzalez, all these guys that are in this era, McGriff, they're going to be on the ballot in November by the Veterans Committee, by the era committee. They're going to turn Schilling, because Schilling's not going to make it either. All those guys are going to be, and it'll be very interesting to see how that plays out.
That's in November of this year.
Yes.
Wow.
It's the era this year is the today's era, and that's all these guys. So it'll be, then what? Then you go to you're not the voice of the writers anymore. Now you're the voice of the era committees, which is made up of former players, Hall of Famers, executives, owner,
Yep.
What do they think? Then we'll really see. If they don't get in through that, yikes, the future looks bleak. So that's a huge thing for me tomorrow night, which is funny because I'll be at a concert tomorrow night. I'm not even going to go. I'm not even going to watch it. I'm recording it all, and I'll be following it on my phone to kind of see what happens while I'm at this concert. But when Julie told me she scheduled a concert, I said, "Do you know that's Hall of Fame night? Like, did you not realize?" That didn't go over very well, just so you know.
Who are you going to see?
It's a guy named Josh Weathers. He's a local guy here in the Metroplex.
Cool.
Kind of folksy, bluesy guy.
Nice.
He's just funny and puts on a great show. So
he's not going to back out like Adele.
No.
In the Vegas incident.
No. What about you? What do you got going on this week?
So my family and I challenged the family, all the kids and my wife and I, to give up entertainment for an entire week. We're fasting from entertainment. So we're, no TV, no games,
no YouTube.
Well, other than recording, but no YouTube, only computers for school. And we're just going to fill that time with other things that you should be doing, to kind of better yourself and your soul.
Can you read? Is that are you allowed to read a book?
Are you allowed to read a book? No.
Well, that's entertainment. It can be entertainment.
Yeah, no, it's get off the screen time, get off no entertainment thrown your way. You got to go get your entertainment, which is going to be a really, really good week for the family. We do that, try to do at least once a year. So
you going to do some gaming, like family game nights and stuff?
Of course.
What's your go-to family game night game?
We do trivia because we got a wide variety of ages. We like Sequence, which is fun for the kids. Code names is fun. We have enough people to do those types of games now, which is really a blast. Charades with girls under 7 is just a blast.
I bet.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you're probably more into the gaming than I am. We don't get into the complex games yet.
Well, it's now that it's just Julie and me, we're empty nesters. It's we play a lot of backgammon. We play a lot of we love Farkle, which is a dice game.
Yep.
And we love we do a lot of spades with other couples, spades and rook and pitch and lots of card games and stuff like that. The game I loved when I was a kid that we just finally got, and I've only played it a couple times since it's kind of one of those games that didn't hold up as well as I thought it would, but that's Yahtzee. And you would think, as much as I love dice games, that I would like it, but Yahtzee doesn't hold up as much. Like, I'm like, eh. And I loved it as a kid. I played it all the time as a kid.
I'm with you. I remember some very fond memories of my grandma playing Yahtzee.
But when it was kids around, it was lots of games of life and Monopoly and
Sorry and Shoots and Ladders.
Sorry, show, man, that was stuff so much fun.
Yeah.
Well,
we 100%. But I think I'm more impressed that we were able to cover you farkling and clogging the toilet in the same episode. So,
hey, we're very diverse. We're not just the prophets of doom. We try to cover many areas of the life of the hobby. I am going to be on the next episode I think I'm going to be on Friday's episode of Sports Card Nation with John Newman. It's a podcast. So if you're a podcaster, I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to do for Golden Age of Cardboard this week, but I will. Yeah. Do you have any other big interviews this week or anybody you're talking to?
Well, you and I have a couple fun episodes coming out later this week, which I think will be fun. We're covering some really good topics We're trying to do, you and I are trying to do some kind of topical stuff throughout the week. 15-minute bite-sized things that I think people will enjoy.
For sure.
So we'll dangle the carrots on those a little bit, but I have a good one coming out on Saturday morning.
Nice.
Yes. Cool, man. Good stuff. Have yourself an amazing week.
See you guys.
Thanks, guys.